For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. This is a first, ladies and gentlemen. We've been doing this show for I don't even know how long now, over 2 years anyway. This is the very first supersized Scribble we are ever producing. 1 full hour. Instead of our usual 30 minutes of time-wasting fun this week, 1 full hour, and I'm going to tell you why. September is a very big month for TV season finales and season premieres. And so we have so much celebrity guest star power on the Scribble that we couldn't fit it into 30 minutes. And these are all very time sensitive. So we have got a bit of content from our syndicated radio shows. We've got them from our celebrity interview website. And we've got them all here on the Scribble for you. Let me tell you what's coming up for you in the next hour. Let's go chronologically. It is Emmy weekend. The Best in Television, ironically, is celebrated at the Emmy Awards Sunday night. That airs on CBS. Nancy O'Dell, host of Entertainment Tonight, will be joining us to talk about the nominations, the snubs, the predictions. So we're going to check in with our friends at ET coming up first. That's Sunday. Let's move to Monday. Matt Iseman, host of American Ninja Warrior on NBC. Season finale is Monday night. Matt once again joins us to talk about the show. Last time he was on the show, he was chatting Celebrity Apprentice. You might recall that. Well, he's talking about A&W this time. The season finale is Monday night on NBC. And again, if you're listening to this after Monday, you already know what happened and how it all worked out. But it's great getting Matt on the phone to talk about that. So he'll be joining us coming up. And also Jerry Springer, his season premiere, 27th season, is Monday. You can check your local listings in syndication. So what does the ringmaster himself have to say about being on the air this long? Plus, would he run for political office? Would he run for the presidency? I'm going to ask him about that. And, you know, he doesn't take his show too seriously, and he'll tell us why, coming up in just a little bit. And then finally, Big Brother wraps up on CBS in just a few days, and Rachel Reilly, one of our favorite former house guests, will be joining us to size up the competition this season, tell us who she likes, who she doesn't like, her favorite moments, just everything. It's always great chatting with Rachel and getting her insight on that because she's a veteran. She's been on the show 2 seasons, I believe, and she's had some great success after that as well. So we're going to check in with Rachel Reilly. All right, I have got a nice stiff drink here to keep me going, see if I can do 1 hour of talk today. And we're going to kick things off with Nancy O'Dell from Entertainment Tonight right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
It is the biggest night in TV, unless there's like a White House scandal, of course, but that's just SNL. I'm talking about the Emmys, handed out this weekend. We have to check in with our friends at Entertainment Tonight about the nominees, the snubs, the predictions, everything else we can cram in. ET host Nancy O'Dell joining us on the line. Hello there.
Hey there, how are ya?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Exhausted because it's Emmy week, but it's also a fun week because it's Emmy week.
Exactly. Now, before we start, I have to do this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Na-na-na-na-na. Do you hear that in your sleep? You
Very
must.
good.
It's a catchy
No,
song.
I do. And people sing it to me all the time. So funny, even when before I started at Entertainment Tonight and I worked at Access Hollywood, I'd still be going through the airport. It's such a well-known theme song that people would sing me the Entertainment Tonight song in the airport. So thank goodness I am with Entertainment Tonight for a long time now, but even when I wasn't, they would sing it to me. So it works all the time.
It's fate is what it is. It was foreshadowing what was about to happen.
It was foreshadowing.
All right, well, let's talk about the Emmys. I know E.T. has it covered all the time. I feel like one of those news anchors. I've got pages and pages in front of me. So are there any...
Me too.
Are there any front runners for you first? We'll talk about snubs. I know you love the snubs, but are there any front runners that's jumping out at you as a strong contender?
Well, yes. And the only reason that I love the snubs is because there's somebody who should have gotten a nomination. But I will save that because we can tease your listeners because there's somebody who needed a nomination, and I'm quite upset about it. But let's talk about the frontrunners. That is definitely a Big Little Lies. I mean, I think you're going to see them all over the place because they racked up like a ridiculous number of nominations. I mean, they're all over the place. Every actor and actress in that show, Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Laura Dern, Shailene Woodley, Alexander Skarsgård. I mean, the only problem that you're going to see is that they're going up against each other because, like in the lead actress in a limited series or movie, you have Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon going up against each other. So if somebody loves that show and they're an Emmy voter, which one of those actresses are they going to vote for? So that actually may present a problem for them when they may each deserve the award because their votes may be split in a way, and somebody else may come out with a win, even though Emmy voters may want one of them to win. And the same thing in the supporting actress category with Laura Dern and Shailene Woodley up against each other. But I think that you're still going to see, them walk away with a ton of awards. Big Little Lies.
And you know what I think we need is just like a big, like, hair-pulling brawl, like maybe there's a tie or something, and then they just duke it out. Yeah?
I don't see that happening between Reese and Nicole. I think they're like classy. Yeah, I think they're way too classy. Although Stephen Colbert said that he's going to be calling out Reese Witherspoon because he thinks she's going to be on the front row. So he's like, I'm going to be calling her out. Although I think he just said that because she's like America's sweetheart. So he's like, who would be the most scandalous person I could call out because she's not scandalous. And that's kind of how he works with his sarcasm. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to do.
For sure. That's also part of it, right? You tune in to see who's going to win in the awards, but then how the host is going to rock that stage because really that monologue can set the tone for the night.
I know, it really does, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun. I think that, he has such a sarcastic tone about him, and that's, one of the great things about the Emmys is, especially with those actors and actresses in the room, that the Emmys, it's just, they get those kind of jokes, so it'll be a lot of fun to see what he comes up with.
And you don't think he's going to say anything political, do you?
Oh, I'm sure. He would never bring up anything political.
No.
I mean, that's so not what he does.
No.
There's my sarcasm.
All right, so let's...
Yeah, I think we're going to hear quite a few political jokes, I'm sure.
Oh, it should be good. All right, so let's go, category by category. In the race for drama series, Too Close to Call, I think, nominees, Better Call Saul, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, House of Cards, Stranger Things, This Is Us, Westworld. It's a toss-up for me. I'm leaning towards This Is Us.
You are?
I am.
See, I think maybe The Handmaid's Tale. I think that might come through with it. Or I think maybe Stranger Things.
Really? Okay. Yeah, so much has been made about This Is Us.
It's like I think that, it kind of resonates with the present-day troubles, and makes it seem like it has a worthy vote because of that. It's really well made. So I don't know. I think that's just different, too. I think that it should be interesting. It's going to be... But I love Better Call Saul, so...
You're right.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
It's going to be like an election night, Too Close to Call, I think, for a lot of these categories. I really think this year it's tough.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. There's so many different forms and the way that you can watch television these days that there's just so many great shows, So it's just a different way from, streaming and cable, and it's not just, the networks anymore. So
times have changed, yeah.
They produce such great shows.
And the ones that make us laugh, of course, in comedy series, it's between Atlanta, Blackish, Master of None, Modern Family, Silicon Valley, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Veep. I think, Veep takes a lot of awards. I'm thinking Veep, but I've read a lot of critics are thinking Atlanta will win. What do you think?
I know. I think Atlanta should win. I think that, Veep will probably win because Emmy does seem to like that show. It would be its third consecutive win. And I don't know if any of the other nominees seem, overpowering enough to be able to overtake it. Although, Blackers has certainly picked up steam and nomination count and, popularity since its first year. But I think that Veep will win it. However, I do think that Atlanta, should have a really good chance at it. I think they would deservedly take the Emmy away if they do.
As for actors and actresses, we were already talking about some of the actresses, but is it going to be Jeffrey Tambor for comedy actor? Let's just recap those nominees. Anthony Anderson, Aziz Ansari, Zach Galifianakis. I don't really get that one. Donald Glover and William H. Macy. What do you think?
I think it's going to be Donald Glover.
Okay,
I
for
really
Atlanta.
Do. I think he should win for Atlanta. He was one of last year's biggest TV stories, and deservedly so. And his heartbreaking performance. He's a would-be rapper. He wants, much more than life has given him, and he's just. I think he's the real deal when it comes to being an actor. I think as far as actresses, I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She is so popular with Emmy votes, and she's so much fun. I would get to tell you to interview backstage. So I think that. I think she's probably going to walk away again with the award, the Emmy.
I want her to win just to see her shtick when she comes up there. That's the thing.
I know. She's always a lot of fun, isn't she?
Oh, it's hilarious. So let's just recap the people up against Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Comedy Actress. So we've got Pamela Adlon for Better Things, Tracy Ellis Ross, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin. I mean, you've got some, acting veterans in this category. Allison Janney, our friend from Mom, she's been on with us. Ellie Kemper.
Amazing.
But you're saying it's going to be Veep taking it in that category.
I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus, yes. I do, but like you said, there's some veteran actresses in there who are amazing and also very popular with the Emmy voters. So this year, like you said, it seems like, a lot of years, it's so easy to predict who's going to win, and this is one of those years where you're just not quite sure who's going to walk away with the award. You just can't call it this year.
Let's chime in again quickly on drama actress, Viola Davis, Claire Foy, Elizabeth Moss, Kerry Russell, Evan Rachel Wood, Robin Wright. I'm thinking Elizabeth has it. A few more of your thoughts on this?
I go with Elizabeth, too, for the Handmaid's Tale. I always want to say Handmaid's Tale.
I know.
And then for the Handmaid's Tale. I go with her. I know that Viola is always a popular choice, but I'm going to go with Elizabeth Moss for that one. And I think she's very deservedly the one who should win. I think as far as the actors, I think Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us, I think he's going to walk away. I think Bob Odenkirk, he's always a good choice, too, because he's so great on Better Call Saul. So I think he has a good chance. So I'd say it was between those two in the actor category. How about you?
I was going to say Kevin Spacey, but now that you mention it...
Really?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. But, I'm undecided on that one. Let's talk quickly then about SNL, leading the pack, or actually tied with Westworld on HBO. 22 nominations. SNL is back. Can we thank Trump for something, I guess? Is that really what did it? SNL's getting very political again. Do you think so?
Yeah, it is. And, he's certainly given them a lot of things to do on Saturday Night Live, but not only the show, but you've got Alec Baldwin and Kate McKinnon, who are both nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Actress in the comedy category, and I think they're both going to win. I really do. I think that SNL is poised to be a big winner at the Emmys. So I think not only like I said the show, but as individual awards, and it's because they have become political. But in a year, where we have a lot of politics and things going on, it's predictable that they would be up for a lot of awards.
Well, you mentioned Kate in the actress category. I mean, SNL has half of the nominations in supporting actress in a comedy series. Kate,
Isn't
Vanessa, Leslie. So, it's SNL kind of goes in these waves, right? Where it's popular, then people are bashing it, then it's funny again. So this could be their year. I think that would be really cool.
I know. I think so, too. I think it could be cool. What is not cool, and I told you I was going to bring you back to the snubs,
Let's do it.
is the fact that my favorite Oprah Winfrey did not get a nomination.
Yes.
I'm very upset about this. She needed to get an acting nomination. I just got a text that came in, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
But that was appropriate. Did you hear the horn on the text?
No, but it's Oprah. She's saying thanks is
Amen.
what it is.
There you go.
Oprah is thanking
She
you.
didn't get a nomination for The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I mean, for the TV movie. The TV movie got a nomination, so where was my Oprah? And I think she's so talented, and, just her presence all the time, I think, lends so much to any kind of TV show. So I'm very disappointed about that.
Do you have Oprah's number? Like, are you in good with her? Like, could you even text her?
Yes, I feel like, how Reese and Ellen were arguing the other day over who had texted Oprah. But I do have Oprah's text, yes. I do text with Oprah some. I'm proud to say.
Oh, wow.
I'm a huge Oprah fan. I think she's amazing.
She is. Well, she is. She's a talented...
A little name dropping there because I think she's amazing.
And so, we're not on the red carpet or we're not at the Emmys right now. So I've got to ask you anyway, who are you wearing right now?
Who am I wearing right now? I am wearing sweats.
Okay.
And a beautiful colored workout top that my daughter picked out for me. She was so cute. She said, Mommy, you need to wear more bright colors. And I didn't want to tell her that I was wearing black because, black's more flattering on you as you get older. I didn't want to tell her that because she's young and she can wear all those cute colors, So she told me that I need to wear bright colors, and so I did. So I've been wearing bright colors in her honor. So I have bright orange top on and with the workout top. I don't even know who I think my sweats are by Splendid. That's who I'm wearing right now.
Oh, okay.
Splendid sweat.
Okay. You don't need to worry about wearing black. You're in your mid-20s, Nancy. There's not a problem, okay?
I really like you right now. That's a great time to
So let's we've got to wrap this up. But what are you looking forward to the most Emmy night? Are you looking forward to? A snub, a win? What is it? Tell me.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody from Big Little Lies. I love that show, and the actresses, Reese and Nicole, are two of my favorite actresses. Not only for the performances, but they're two of my favorite interviews because they're genuinely just nice people. And I happen to like that husband of Nicole's too. He's just so sweet, and they make the cutest, nicest couple. I tell them every time I see them, they probably get tired of hearing it, but I'm like, you guys are my favorite Hollywood couple because they're just genuinely nice people.
And they lasted quite a while.
They have, and I think they will continue because they just are genuinely nice people.
Yes, they are. And you know what? Entertainment tonight is always great, and so we're going to tune in Monday for all the greatest moments from the Emmy red carpet. So check your local listings, everybody. Nancy O'Dell, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been great chatting with you.
I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too now.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
He's the latest Celebrity Apprentice winner, and I think the last. The show might be done now, and he's also part of the star power on American Ninja Warrior. Our friend Matt Iseman joining us on the line. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, it's interesting to hear that. I think you're right. Whether it's done, it's at least done for the foreseeable administration.
Well, and you know what? You've got a pretty sweet gig with American Ninja Warrior anyway. But actually, let's just talk about... I want to go back to Apprentice just for a second, though, because how is your new gig with Schwarzenegger? Is he treating you well? Any problems at the office?
No, he's been amazing. That was one of the things. As soon as he stepped down from being the boss at Schwarzenegger Inc., he called me and said, I'm still his apprentice. And so we've been working with the After School All-Stars. I've done a couple charity events through his Schwarzenegger Institute, and then a charity fundraiser at his house. So he's been great. I mean, the guy is not slowing down. He's staying active, still advocating gerrymandering. He's fighting against that, trying to change the political system, and he's still got a big hand in the After School All-Stars, his charity that supports after-school programs for at-risk youth.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. So if we hear, if I see a sign, Arnold 2020, would you be part of the campaign?
Well, the Constitution forbids him from running.
That's right.
But if he ran for something, I think I'd be, at least for president, I'd absolutely be by his side. I think he's a guy who, whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, he's a guy who likes to find compromise. And I think that's one of the things that was a hallmark of his time as governor. And I think he still does it. And that was one of the good things about being on the show with him, is I felt that rather than trying to divide and shake the people up, he was really challenging us to do the best we could.
Well, let's segue from Schwarzenegger to American Ninja Warrior. How would he do on the course these days? Is he still a machine?
I don't think Terminators are allowed on the course. So he actually, ironically, I damaged my foot last year. I had to have foot surgery at the same time he did. So he and I have both been on the injured reserve list. But I honestly think he'd have a better shot on the course than I would. The guy still works out 2 to 3 hours a day at Gold's Gym in Venice.
Oh my God, I don't even do that in a week. Jeez.
It's amazing.
So, American Ninja Warrior, is killing it in the ratings, and you're really putting those Bachelor shows to shame over the past couple of months. And I think it's just because the viewers are fascinated. Well, they're wanting to catch you in Harry Potter outfits. I know that much. But the competition is just incredible to see these people who train sometimes years and years and years just for this competition.
I think the shows definitely appeal to different. It depends what you're looking for, and I know a lot of people enjoy the romance angle on the other shows, but Ninja is definitely, I think, the storytelling has become amazing, and that's one of the things that's interesting to me is when you look at the show and the fact that we've had, I think, almost 3,500 people take the course, and only 2 have completed it. So you realize everyone else has fallen, and yet you see in every episode these tremendous stories, these inspiring stories. I mean, last week with Lance Pekus, something he'd been living with for a while, that he finally decided to share in his wife's battle with multiple sclerosis. And I think it's that reminder we have that, we really don't know what so many people who we deal with on a daily basis are going through. And just a reminder of so often the obstacles that we think are, challenging, be it work or the obstacles on the course, are really nothing compared to what people go through in life. And I think, for Ninja Warrior, there's so many people at home who are watching who might be facing something like multiple sclerosis or the loss of a loved one or substance abuse, whatever it is. And to see someone out there going through their same struggle and overcoming it and taking on a new challenge, I think that's really one of the things that people respond to is that the show kind of gives them hope that no matter what you're facing in life, there's always time for kind of a second act for redemption.
And what's interesting? You mentioned it, though, and I think when I watch, just an actual game show, I actually don't even care to see the backstory of the people. I fast forward through that. But you're right, on Ninja Warrior, I do. I'm intrigued by seeing those home videos, I would call them. The packs from when these people are training, or their family dynamics and things like that. You're right.
Well, you realize, I think, in any show, if you need a reason to care about the people playing, unless you're just watching the show for the action. I mean, even in the NFL, people say we don't need backstories, but you do have a backstory because you've been rooting for this team or you know about these players. They just don't need to give it to you in the game. But if you watch teams you don't know, you'll find it's not as interesting.
Today's best music with Jeremy Bradley.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back chatting with Matt Iseman from American Ninja Warrior. He's joining us from his Uber, so the sound is a little bit off at some points. But Matt, tell me, where do you see people struggle the most on the course during Ninja Warrior?
It totally depends on the athlete. I mean, obviously the upper body obstacles, those are the ones, grip strength, talking to the rock climbers or the parkour guys. One of the things they say is You can train your legs, you can train your biceps, your back, but grip strength is something that doesn't improve in weeks or months, that's years. So when we're going to start, we've got the second part of stage 1 tonight, and then next week you'll see stages 2, 3, and 4, which are so upper body intensive. I think that's where you start to see the separation. Balance obstacles for every athlete are intimidating because those are the ones where if you make a mistake, it's so hard to recover. We saw that on domino pipes, like Chris DeGangi, where he's hanging upside down and makes this tremendous effort to fight his way back up for 30 seconds, only to go out on the next obstacle. And so it really depends on the skill set of the ninja. And the other thing that's great is any obstacle can end a run. I mean, we saw with Brian Wolczewski going out on Snake Run, an obstacle that if he does it 100 times, he gets through it probably 98 times.
How cold is the water that they splash down into?
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Well, it's in Vegas. It's 117 degrees. It's probably
Okay.
as close to a hot tub as we've had. I mean, the worst we ever had was in St. Louis. I think it was season 6. It was 22 degrees, and we had chunks of ice in the water. Vegas is the one time that the water is probably most appreciated and most refreshing, because that is by far the hottest conditions we'll compete under anywhere.
That's true. I guess, you're working up a sweat and your body is going, so the cold water is probably welcome, I guess, to some of them.
It's the shock, though. A lot of them say that until they're underwater, they still don't realize it's over. And they have that moment of, oh no, I'm in the water.
Right.
And that heartbreak. And so it's amazing, I think, how many thoughts go through their heads as, in that split second, because of all the work they put into it.
Yeah.
And yet, universally, we see people come up and kind of a smile on their face, frustrated, but saying, I'll get them next time. And they do. People keep coming back, which is amazing. I mean, I'd probably, knock over a trestle, kick a safety pad, and storm off and never compete again.
Finally, I've got to ask, do you ever find that, I guess you're standing there watching, but at home, I find myself almost swaying back and forth as they're trying to gain momentum to do a big leap. Do you do that?
Totally. See, if you watch on me, we're doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
We're leaning. We're willing them forward. We're just as invested. It's the same for us as it is for the people at home, and that's what's nice about our jobs. Is we don't have to pretend to be impartial. We know how much they put into it, and we know how much it means to them when they do hit a buzzer, and you can see it when they're failing, when they're losing their balance, and at the same time, then when they make one of those tremendous saves and hang on by their fingertips, it's just our heart starts racing as well. So I think we, collectively, we're all willing them to success.
All right. Well, we do love the show. We're going to be watching American Ninja Warrior on NBC. Matt, when can people catch it?
It's Monday nights at 8 p.m., and the 18th is the season finale. It's been a fantastic season, so I hope everyone tunes in.
We've been loving it. Well, thanks so much again, Matt. Always great chatting with you.
Always, Jeremy.
Today's best music with Jeremy Bradley.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley back here on The Scribble. Look at this. We're actually ahead of time. We should be at the 30-minute mark, but we're not quite there yet, so I've got some time to kill. My thanks to Nancy O'Dell from Entertainment Tonight for joining us. Remember, I'm going to be live tweeting the Emmys on Sunday night, so you can follow along at Jeremy D. Bradley, at Jeremy, the letter D, Bradley, Bradley. We're going to have a full recap of the Sunday night awards Monday on the Entertainment Wrap-Up. That's our entertainment headline show. That's at entertainmentwrapup.com. Now remember, if you're listening to this after Sunday or Monday, it's kind of irrelevant. Where have you been? Remember, this new show comes online every Friday at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. I'm a little bit lost because going into next week, Bachelor in Paradise is over. Big Brother's wrapping up. Those are the two summer shows that I tweet all the time. Now I can live on Mondays and Wednesdays and every other night that I was live tweeting. It's very interesting. I've said on this show quite a few times that I'm not big into social media, so I don't spend much time in the evenings anyway. Obviously, I have to do social media for my job, so there's a component to that. And much like a lot of people with their work, once you're done, you don't think about it. You don't do work. So for me, yeah, I tweet our stuff that we've got to do. But it's interesting to see how when I come on in the evenings, when we're taping our radio shows in the evening, and I've got Twitter scrolling through all of the different live tweets that are happening, how many people are still on this whole Trump kick every day. I feel like almost everybody, every third tweet that I'm reading, that person should apply for a job at CNN. Because I've said before, I can have the TV on either in my office or in the studio when we're doing it. And I swear to you, I'm not kidding you, the words breaking news are actually burned into the screen. That's how much those words are placed on the screen. Like, everything is breaking news. If you saw the White House Correspondents' Dinner, there was a joke about that not everything is breaking news anymore, CNN. And so, now don't get me wrong, I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm not a Hillary supporter, I'm not a fake news person, I'm not a CNN person, I'm just telling you my observation, because that's the thing, is that if I make a comment about Trump, all of a sudden I'm a bitter Hillary supporter. I make a comment about CNN, I'm a sarcastic dick. That's my job. So anything should not be taken too seriously when I write about it. But anyway, so yeah, CNN, the words breaking news are burnt into one of the TVs, which is very strange. So anyway, yeah, I find that people on their social media rants that they go on, it's almost every day. Like, I feel like it should be a paid job to be a Trump Twitter basher, or a Twitter basher of Trump, whatever the wording would be, just because so many people have devoted hours and hours and hours to that every week. Oh well. Hey, you know what? You do what you got to do in life. If that's what gets your rocks off, go for it. All right, coming up, we've got still another half hour to go. Matt Iseman from American Ninja Warrior will be joining us right after this break. And Rachel Reilly, Big Brother veteran, will be joining us to size up BB19. We're back right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Daytime TV's Ringmaster heading into his 27th season. Actually, this week, Jerry Springer starts another season of deep conversation and meaningful relationships on his talk show. And he's joining us on the line. Hello, Jerry.
Oh, I'd like to open with an apology. 27 years I've ruined the culture.
Let's talk about the show in just a second. You know, we don't discuss politics on this show, but I have to ask, Jerry 2020, what do you say?
Well, you know, if I ran for president, they really would build a wall because, you know, if it's me against Trump, you'd have to build a wall to keep people from trying to get out. So that's what would happen. No, first of all, that's not going to happen. I was born in England, so
right.
I can't be president. In fact, I left England when I found out I couldn't be king. I was really ticked off.
Can you whip the country into shape, though? Can you whip the country? Or who can do it? Can anybody? Can Oprah do it?
Well, I honestly think people are coming, now this is my view, people are starting to come to their senses. We realize that, you know, this is a runaway train right now, and there's chaos in Washington, and, you know, I think there's some buyer's remorse. Like, clearly, there's some people that still love Trump and will always love Trump no matter what he does. So you've got that, you know, that group, and that's fine. This is America. You can be for who you want. But I think most people are figuring out, the president, we should expect more from the presidency. And I think and we'll start to see that in 2018. And there's even a reaction within the Republican Party. I don't think it'll be so much the fight between Democrats and Republicans. I honestly think that there's the brewing of a civil war within the Republican Party, and that has to be worked out first before, you know, we figure out who's the next president going to be.
Did you ever think in 27 years of doing your talk show that your guests would have it more together than a White House administration?
Oh, yeah, I have said that, you know, during the campaign. I said, and, you know, created a brouhaha by saying it, but I said, you know, Hillary belongs in the White House and Trump belongs on my show, and, you know, kind of tongue-in-cheek. But when the Ringling Brothers Circus just, after 140-something years, just closed its doors last month, I said there are only 2 circuses left in America now, my show and the White House. So that's where we are today. But I never thought that someone on my show should be president. That's what I'm saying.
Now, if Hillary wanted to come on the show to confront Donald, or even, let's just say 2 people from the White House administration, and we heard the boxing, ding, ding, ding at any point, who would you want to see?
Well, clearly, the best fighter from the White House side, he's no longer in anymore, would be Steve Bannon.
Right.
I mean, he's I don't agree with his views, but he's incredibly bright, and he was kind of like the soul of the White House, and so I think that's he'd be tough to beat in that kind of a fight. So I would put my money on him.
All right, let's talk about the new season of the show. I mentioned at the top, season 27, and it's a pretty sweet gig because all you have to do is ask one question and then just watch it play out.
Oh yeah, I stay out of it. No one's watching the show because of me. Let's be honest. It's just my job to. They don't even tell me what the show's about. I'm not allowed to know the subject matter of the show. So they hand me a card before the show, before I go out there, and all the card has on it are the names of the guests. And my job is to ask questions that you would ask sitting at home watching, and then make jokes. So basically, I'm hired to make jokes about what's going on, but I never know the subject matter or, if I knew what the show was about, I wouldn't come in.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Back talking with Jerry Springer, the new season of his daytime talk show beginning 27 years already. Now, you've had every kind of topic known to man on the show, but has there been any that has made you think, this is pretty weird, even for our show?
Well, we had the guy who married his horse.
Right. Oh, that was years ago, though.
Yeah. You'll be happy to know that I came out against it.
So you do have some standards.
Every year around the Kentucky Derby, because, we want horse lovers to watch our show.
Now, what is the status of their relationship?
That was the craziest, I think.
Is there an update about the relationship?
Yeah, we did a follow-up show. The horse left him.
Okay. Wow.
The whole show is stupid, but it's fun. And people want to be on it. I mean, honestly, this is not a show where you could call someone and try to talk them into being on. People get on the show because they're dying to get on. They call us. They go through a whole vetting process. So, this is the most voluntary show there is. They talk about what they want to talk about. It's a purely voluntary effort. Nobody gets paid for it or anything like that. So, basically all we're doing is granting the stage to people who aren't famous and want to tell us the drama that's going on in their life at the moment. It probably is the original. What it really is reality television. What we call the reality shows now, that's not really reality, because what you've done is create a situation just for the television show that doesn't exist in their real life. You put them on an island, you put them in a house, you got to vote them off, that kind of thing. So you're creating a TV situation. On our show, nothing's created. The people are coming on to tell the stories what really is happening in their life. And so that really is reality television. We don't call it that, but that's what it actually is.
Years ago, there was this complaint about, well, it was called, trash TV and talk shows were a bad thing. Are people over that now, or are there still people offended by the show? I mean, in today's society, that it's...
I'm sure there are people that are still offended. I would think so. But it's not... Yeah, it's become part of the pop culture. I mean, it's all kind of tongue-in-cheek. People... no one's going to sleep at night saying, "Oh my God, how can I sleep tonight? I saw that show." It's not. That's the reason God gave us remote control.
Right.
People watch what they want to watch. They go on the shows they want to go on. That's if you're gonna have free media, if you're gonna have a free society, you can't just say rich, famous, and good-looking people are allowed to be on television. It should reflect the whole society. Well, for years, American television was basically all upper middle class white, and if you were a minority, you had you were put on one of their side, networks, not the major networks, or you had to be a doctor living in the suburbs like Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, American television was upper middle class white, whether it was Seinfeld or Frasier or Friends, always well scrubbed upper middle class white people. Well, our show comes along, and that's really one of the first shows to show regular people, people that aren't rich or famous or necessarily good looking. And that was a shock. It's not the behavior that was shocking. There's nothing that's ever been on our television show that isn't already in the Bible or in Shakespeare or in great literature. The actual issues have been ever since humans were created. So that's not new. What was new when we started in 1991 is to have that on television. And I think that was the shock value of it. Nowadays, it's just part of the wallpaper. It's part of the pop culture. Everybody knows it. If you say to someone you're having a Jerry Springer moment, even if you don't watch the show, you know what they're talking about.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back talking with Jerry Springer. And so after an hour of craziness on the daytime talk show, the chairs thrown, the fists thrown, the shoes kicked off, the hair pulled off, there's this moment of levity with the final thought. How did that come about? You have all this craziness, and then you get serious right at the end.
Yeah, I always do that because, I don't really do anything throughout the show. In other words, I'm not there preaching or saying anything. I let the guests have to their show. And then just so someone would know that, wait a second, this isn't my point of view, at the end, for a minute and a half or so, give my point of view. And also, I figure, when my judgment day comes and God says, "Oh my God, what a show that was," I'll be able to say to God, "Yeah, but you remember the final thought?" So that's my one shot at getting into heaven.
So you did your part anyway.
Yes, yeah.
And I know that you're enjoying your podcast. It's very popular. Why don't you tell us about that very quickly?
Yeah, I really enjoy doing that. That is really me. My job as doing a host of a crazy show, that's my job, to do a crazy show. But the podcast is me as I actually am, and it's my best friend and myself and then a young woman sidekick. And the three of us, we do it every week. All you have to do is go to Jerry Springer Podcast, but we do it every week at a coffee shop in Ludlow, Kentucky, and we do it in front of a live audience there, and it's a folk music coffee shop, so people have their guitars, their banjos, their fiddles, and it's a half-hour show. We do about 10 minutes of comedy, then I do a 10-minute political rant, which reflect my liberal views of what's going on in the news at the time, and then the final segment is we have some country now. A lot of these acts are now coming to be on the podcast, so they come through Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky to be on our podcast. So we get great music, and as I said, comedy, and then a political rant. So yeah, give it a try. It's just you go to Jerry Springer Podcast and you pick a subject matter, because we've done it for 2.5 years now. So we have about 150 shows you can pick from, and you pick your subject matter and listen to it. You may enjoy it. So
give me one word to describe the real Jerry Springer that we'll hear.
Schlub. Just a lucky schlub.
Well,
2 words.
The Jerry...
I'm a normal person that got very lucky in life, and I realized that. And, I just had great parents, and I was born with a decent brain, I guess. So I've been very lucky in life, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I'm no better than anyone that's on our show or anybody else. I'm just one of the lucky ones.
Well, we're going to be watching the Jerry Springer Show. It airs in syndication, right? So check your local listings.
Yes.
And we thank...
Hey, thanks a lot.
Well,
I appreciate you having me on.
No, we thank you, Jerry, the ringmaster himself. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure. Bye-bye now.
All right.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on this supersized Scribble. Whew, I'm almost out of breath. This is, it's quite new for me. I do have a drink here just to keep me hydrated, although I guess they say vodka dehydrates you, right? It doesn't give you more fluids, it takes away. Anyway, my thanks to, again, so far, Nancy O'Dell, Matt Iseman, Jerry Springer. Coming up, as I mentioned, Big Brother 19, season 19 already, is just in the home stretch, wrapping up on, I think it's Wednesday on CBS. And Rachel Reilly, one of our favorite veterans, is joining us to talk about the season and the house guests and sizing up the competition. Well, she's our favorite Big Brother veteran, Rachel Reilly, once again joining us on the line to talk about BB19. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I'm so excited.
Well, there's so much to talk about. And let's sum up the finalists, though. Do you think Paul is going to win this year? Is it his season?
It is BB season, Paul. It's funny that you say there's so much to talk about, because I feel like there's so much to talk about nothing. Because it's like, okay, Paul did another thing. Okay, Paul did another thing. It's like literally BB season, Paul. I mean, no hashtag BB19, it's hashtag BB season, Paul.
But it's strange, though, they realized the whole friendship thing didn't work for him last season. So, do they really think that he's going to try the exact same game this season? I don't know. It's very strange.
These house guests are half starstruck, half I know Dan has a miss, so I don't know what Paul has, but he has the hiss, I guess. He's a snake. I don't know, the viper, the venom, what do you want to call it? But, that's what he's bitten them all with this minion juice, and they all think they are his number 2. And so I think what's going on here is that it's not the friendship, it's the number 2. They just want, they're competing with the other house guests to see who is Paul's real number 2. It's not about $500,000, it's about who can be Paul's best friend.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so thoughts on Christmas. Weird that she hasn't been able to play in most of the games, but was able to determine someone's fate on Thursday. That's really weird.
I love it. This is hilarious. So this Christmas is hilarious. I mean, her name's Christmas. She puts a great, spin on the game. And it's just, watching her, it's man, I don't know where she thinks, where in her brain she is putting these synapses together that's connecting, saying, hey, I'm really great at this game. I'm, a number 1 player. Because you see by her reactions in these competitions that she thinks she's making these moves, calling the shots, and, it's hashtag delusional at Christmas, like, I don't get it. I mean, I will make a really bad pun. It's Christmas time, but she's probably just going to get some coal in her stocking this year. I just think it's funny because, really in the end, Christmas is really just, she really thinks she's playing this amazing game. And I think she doesn't realize that Paul has been controlling every single move that she's done.
Okay, so this is funny because you used the word delusional, and during Thursday night's episode, when Raven, if you saw in the jury house, said that she was the puppet master, and I tweeted, Raven the puppet master coming to a delusion near you. So I think the Christmas and Raven both have the same complex.
Yes, it's so, Raven is this season too. Same thing. She is so delusional. That is the perfect tweet for it, like coming to a delusion near you, because Raven really thinks, first of all, that her and Paul were Matt, Paul, and Raven final three when they were the first two out of his little final three group. Then she thinks that she was the puppet master. She knew what was going on the whole time, and she was okay with it. Oh yeah, sure, get my boyfriend out, whatever you need to do. But I just don't know. This whole season, Raven has been confused. I think she told so many lies. She's confused about what is the actual truth in this whole situation.
You have to chime in on Josh. Do you think in real life he is this much of a loose cannon?
Not. It's so funny because in the beginning of the season, I hated watching him. I think we all did, right? We were like, oh, get Josh off our screens. Send him home. He's so annoying. He's so immature. He's so, banging pots and pans. It's been done. Get your own thing. But at this point in the game, for some reason, I find myself, drawn to him, almost wanting him to take out Paul, almost wanting him to, still be on my television screen, because it's almost like it's something different. At least we know with Josh, we're going to get something. Whereas with Christmas, we're getting Paul. With Alex, we were getting Paul. I just think that with Josh, at least we're getting, something. So I think that's where we're all kind of, getting into the Josh vibe right now. But, yeah, I do agree that I don't think he's this much of a loose cannon crier in real life. I think he's confused with the game. He's trying to play a good game. He doesn't want to go against Paul. It got him this far, so I guess he's played, a decent, third-place game, but I think that's where he's going to end up.
This season has been controversial with things like throwing condiments in faces and, as you said, banging the pots and pans. You probably heard about the whole talking about raping a wife thing and then slapping in the face. I want to know, you've been on the show, you've spent a lot of time in the house. When does production step in? When does Big Brother go and say, hey, that's enough?
We never had anything like that on either one of my seasons. So I think, the thing is, on my seasons, people said stupid things, but you know what? I'm friends with them after the show. You're in that house, and it poisons your brain, especially when you're not friends with someone, and especially when you're against them. And I know I'm not making excuses for them, but I will say that, someone said on my season they were going to punch my belly to try to kill a baby if I was pregnant. And then on my first season, someone else said a comment about pulling a baby out of my belly to get rid of it before the Brenchels breed or something. Just really bad things. But then, I forgave them. And the thing is people get into these mind frames on this show, and it's the worst part of human behavior. But that's what it is. It's human behavior, and I'm not making excuses for what was said. Those things should never be thought. They should never be said. But for some reason, when you're in that situation, people say vile and disgusting things in that house. And I don't think I don't think they consider themselves responsible for it, and I don't think they are. I think that they should kind of be like, hey guys, knock it off or stop that. But
Yeah.
That's, I guess, real world.
So in terms of production, I need to know, is there a sign in the diary room that says, scream at the camera?
There's no. They do say, we need more energy, or, be bigger, or whatever. But it's funny because you always have every And every season you have your, like, people that are more normal. And it's usually, like, the first season you go in and you're like, oh, my God, I'm so excited, I'm HOH. And then your second season, you're like, oh, my, I'm so embarrassed because last season I was screaming at the camera and it came off as screaming at the camera. And they say more energy, and the whole time you're just thinking, like, I'm giving more energy, but really you're just screaming at the camera.
We've got about 2 minutes, so we've got to go through this stuff quickly. Who's been your favorite couple this season?
I really like Cody and Jessica. I was really sad we didn't get to see it blossom or see what would have happened with them. I think they seemed very real and very legit. And then I also liked Elena and Mark and Jury House. They seemed cute. You know, I think that they seemed like they were getting along really well. They were all cuddly up, and I liked them. So I think that it's not like a one couple. I think both of the couples were cute. No, Matt and Raven, they're just, God, please get them off my TV.
I know. I was always expecting Matt to try to tell me about Trivago.
Oh my God, he totally does look like the Trivago guy. You're so right. I never thought about that. I look like the Trivago guy. You know, Matt is a very good-looking man, but, like, he is dumb. I mean, he is just, God bless him. Like, thank goodness he's pretty, but he is just dumb.
Yeah. Not smart and hot like your man, right?
No, not smart and hot like my man. He is just, I mean, like, I swear, like, they could have just, every time the camera panned to him, it should have just been crickets. That's what's going on in his brain.
Well, that and when Cody talks as well. Finally, then, if you could team up, or actually 2 questions. If you could team up with anybody in the house, who would it be?
I would have worked with Mark and Dominique and probably Elena, maybe, I'm not sure. But Cody and Jessica, I would have worked with. And then at this point in the season, I mean, you guys are going to hate me, but I would work with Josh. You know, like, I think that if I could team up with Josh, I would have to pull him away from Christmas, but I think I could do it. I think I could pull him away from Christmas, and me and him could go head-to-head against Christmas and Fall, which, by the way, that would be easy.
Oh, my God, yeah. Okay, all right. So, you know, we're late already, but I need to know the lowdown on your family. The kid, the dog, the husband. Go.
Okay, the husband is a doctor now. Yay! The kid is amazing. She's beautiful. Follow her on Instagram or me. You see all our pictures at Rachel Reilly Viegas. The dog, perfect. Same thing at Rachel Reilly Viegas. We always post pictures. We're a happy family. Bought our first home. You know, doing what we can do.
All right. Well, Rachel Reilly, again, thanks. Always great chatting with you.
Thank you. We had so much fun. It was always great to talk to you, too. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye now.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
That's right. We are also on the Twitter. Thank you so much, Lars. Again, to recap all of our celebrity guests today, Nancy O'Dell from Entertainment Tonight, Matt Iseman from American Ninja Warrior, Jerry Springer from The Jerry Springer Show, Rachel Reilly, veteran of Big Brother, the hit reality show on CBS. Wow. What an incredible day for this supersized Scribble podcast. Again, if you've missed any of the episodes and you haven't subscribed or what have you, go to, we're on SoundCloud. You can just look us up on there, or on iTunes as well. All of the details are at thescribbleshow.com. And if you've missed any of the celebrity guests that we've had on the show, you know, if you're a Big Brother fan, for the past, I think it's 2 or 3 seasons, we've had the finalists or winners on our show. And we've had Jerry Springer on a few times before. Matt Iseman was on during Celebrity Apprentice, as I mentioned. You can hear that interview at speakfreecelebwatch.com. Speakfreecelebwatch.com, and that's got a whole archive of all of the different celebrity chats that we've had on our syndicated radio shows. Speakfreecelebwatch.com. Now, because everybody is just celebrity crazy these days, we also recap the daily entertainment news at entertainmentwrapup.com. That is the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. It's mostly the lows and the downs, I will admit. We do like to get into the gossip on Entertainment Wrap-Up. Just a quick 3-minute segment every day, so check it out at entertainmentwrapup.com. Entertainmentwrapup.com. Now, if there's a celebrity guest that you'd like us to have on the show, you can email live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. As I mentioned, September is a very, very busy time in the TV world with season finales and season premieres. I can tell you that coming up, we have Al Jean. He's the executive producer of The Simpsons, and that premieres beginning of October on Fox. Al is giving us a rundown of what to expect on The Simpsons this season, and he's also going to be taking some of your questions. If you've got a question for Al Jean, executive producer of The Simpsons, you can email live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. It's been a few years since we've checked in with Al. I think we had him on the 500th show when The Simpsons aired. Was it 500 episodes? I think it was. And it was great to chat with him. I'm out of breath. We've got to wrap this up. It is Emmy weekend. Again, I am live tweeting the Emmys Sunday night at Jeremy D. Bradley. At Jeremy D. Bradley. And again, my name is Jeremy Bradley. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you next week here on The Scribble.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat